welcome to another edition of The Lightest and Best. Today's edition is going to be very different because instead of looking at an individual knife, we're going to be looking at a wide variety of knives. And we're going to be exploring what is a good pocket clip. There are positive characteristics and negative characteristics. Desirable characteristics for a clip: first of all, it needs to have a good function. It needs to go onto and come off of your pocket easily. It also needs to have a good form. It needs to look good. It needs to fit well with the overall design of the knife. These things having been considered, we're going to start with our Academy Awards of Knifedom regarding pocket clips. The first Academy Award goes for the best minimalist clip design, and Spyderco is going to be winning that one with their wire clip. Here we have three varieties of Spydercos: the Spyderco S, the Positron, the Kiwi, and the Dragonfly. I just want to demonstrate the Spyderco wire clip. Simple is good, and Spyderco has mastered simplicity with this. It has a nice approach ramp, it has good traction, and it is reversible both left and right hand on all of these models. I'll go ahead and show you the Positron and then the Kiwi. All of these are very similar designs, and then one of the most famous, the Dragonfly. They're different lengths, but the style is all the same. So the award for the best minimalist clip goes to Spyderco with their wire clip. The next Academy Award for knifedom is called the It Doesn't Rip Up Your Pants Award. And a desirable component of a knife on the scale is that you have some handle scales that give you some traction. And the Spyderco Dragonfly is like that. It has these bi-directional grips. If you press this way, you get traction. If you press this way, you get traction because the scales point in toward you. Well, they designed this by intention. They put the Spyderco maker's mark, which is flat, right underneath the friction point of the clip, so that when it goes in and comes off of your pant, it's sliding against a smooth surface rather than the grippy parts of the knife. And if you're a left-handed user, it's also on that side, and they have milled out areas for a deep carry, recessed clip carry on the left side also. So the award for the It Doesn't Rip Up My Pants award goes to the Spyderco Dragonfly. The next Academy Award of Knifedom goes for the best knife clip at fitting in with the overall design of the knife. And we have a four-way tie for this. I want to start with the Browse Razorback. On the Browse Razorback, part of the artistic design is they have this sweeping, flowing line through the course of the knife. And also on the back, they had this sweeping, flowing line. But they continued the groove onto the clip, and so it continues the aesthetic theme of the knife onto the clip and makes for a really beautiful clip. So that's the Browse Razorback. The next knife on the tie, a four-way tie, is the Spyderco Southern with the smock modification. Now this isn't the original clip. I have a smock modified Southern here with the original clip. It's just a polished stainless steel clip, but Smock made this custom clip that carries on the aesthetic of the knife. The knife has these three grooves on the lock bar, and Smock continued the three fuller grooves onto the clip to make a unifying aesthetic for the knife. It's sad that an aftermarket maker has to have a better design than the original maker, but I'm going to give it to Kevin Smock for the Spyderco Southern. The third knife in the three-way tie is the Olamic Wayfarer 24/7. This is the acid rain version, and this is the lightest acid rain version that I'm aware of because they drill all these holes in the knife scale of varying sizes, so it reduces the weight of the knife, and it's really beautiful because they have this satin finished polished blade. You can see through the holes, and then the inside of the chamfers are anodized gold while the handle scale is blue. Well, they continued this theme on with the clip, and they made varying sized holes so that you have holes not only on the face scale but also on the clip to unify the design. Wonderful design. The Olamic Wayfarer Acid Rain. And the last member of the four-way tie is the Curtis F3. And as you can tell, there is a cross member on the pivot, surrounded by circles, and on the lock bar side there's a cross member on the pivot also. Well, on the knife scale they put what looks like a cross member like a reticle on a rifle scope, and it looks really cool, and it has a common unifying artistic theme throughout the knife. It's a beautiful knife. And so that's the four-way tie for the best clip at fitting with the overall design of the knife. The Browse Razorback, the Spyderco Southern with the smock modification, the Alamic Wayfarer 24/7, and the Curtis F3. The next Academy Award for knifedom is the most unique pocket clip. And I'm just going to be showing pictures of these because I don't own these knives, but I believe the Chris Reeve tie lock, which was designed by G&G Hawk, has one of the most unique clips. It's a hinged clip like a clothespin, and you press on the top of it and it lifts up the arm that you slip into your pocket, and then you release the clip. And then to remove it from your pocket, you press again on the end of the clothespin-like clip. It releases your pocket and you pull it out. It's a wonderfully unique design. And it's a tie with WE Knives design. This WE Knives, as of April of 2017, is still in the prototype phase. It hasn't been released to the public, but it was shown at one of the Blade shows, and it's an Uli design, and there is an actual wheel for the friction point that rotates, and so it slips on and slips out of your pocket very easily because of this wheel design. Wonderful design by both Chris Reeves and WE Knives. The next Academy Award of Knifedom for pocket clips is in the category of the pocket clip that best integrates with a lanyard hole. And this is a two-way tie. Both of the candidates are Spyderco options. And the Spyderco was brilliant in this. Instead of putting the pocket clip off to the side like the Spyderco Para 3, for example, Spyderco on its Native 5 and its Delica model put the lanyard hole right in the center of the place that is the surface mount for the pocket clip. So you don't have to move the pocket clip awkwardly over to the side and then put a lanyard hole beside it. The lanyard hole goes right through the pocket clip. So the award for the best integration with a lanyard hole goes to Spyderco's Native 5 and Delica knives. The next award for the best pocket clip of knifedom goes to the deepest carry clip. This is a positive characteristic because everybody wants to be able to walk around without their knife being obtrusive. They want it completely concealed in the pocket. And there's a two-ways tie for this, the SOG Flash 1. And as you can tell, the knife is attached to the very end of it. So not only is it a loop over clip, it's attached to the very end of the knife. And then the Zero Tolerance 0562 did the very same thing. You can't get it any deeper than these two guys, so good job Zero Tolerance and SOG Flash 1. I'm going to be talking about deep carry clips a little bit. Everyone loves the deep carry clips, and there are two different ways to attach them. One is the way that Benchmade uses, and another is one that the Boker Plus uses. These Benchmade models functionally have the same clip. This is the Valet and this is the Emissary. But basically, it's a deep carry clip, so it really goes almost to the very end of the pocket. And you access the screws because there's a hole in the middle of the clip, and you can tighten and loosen the screws from that point. Boker Plus also did this. They have a hole in the clips so that you can fasten the screws. The thing I want to point out about the Boker Plus clip is that it's an embedded clip and that it uses flathead screws, which is even better than the Benchmade one because the Benchmade uses a surface mounted clip and round-headed screws. As you can tell, the underside of the clip between the backside of the clip and the round-headed screws occupy about 50% of the space that your pant is trying to get into when you slip it into your pocket. As you can tell with the Boker Plus, this is a superior design because the flathead screws and the embedded clip don't take any of the space that your pant is designed to occupy. So that's one way to approach it. Another way to approach it is put the screws on the outside, and I have 3 examples of that also. The first 2 are zero tolerance examples. This is the 0770 and the 0900, and as you can tell, they chose, instead of making a hole in the center of the clip, to bring the screws to the outside of the clip so that they can be reached and loosened and unloosened. And then there is the Boker Plus anti-gravity that did the same method. They put the screws on the outside. This happens to be a ceramic knife blade, one of the few ceramic blades that I have, but they use that typical knife design too to access the screws in a deep carry loop over clip. Anyway, the winners of the deepest carry clip go to the Zero Tolerance 0562 and the SOG Flash 1. Good job, guys. The next Academy Award of Knifedom, in the respect of pocket clips, goes for those manufacturers that use blind screws to affix 3D milled clips. And there's a 4-way tie here. There is, first of all, the Shirogorov Neon and the Riate Wave. And as you can tell, the clips have no screws showing. They're all affixed from the inside. And also the Lion Steel TRE and the Browse blades inside. All of these have pocket clips with interior screwing, and it's aesthetically much more pleasing. I want to give you an example of 2 knife makers that chose to externally fixate their knife blades. This is the Boker A2 Mini. As you can tell, the screws are affixed from the outside, and then the Berger EXK, which has externally fixed screws. So not every knife manufacturer internally screws their pocket clip when it's a 3D milled clip, but boy, we sure appreciate aesthetically the statement that it makes. So congratulations to the Shirogorov Neon, Riate Wave, Lion Steel TRE, and Browse Blades Insight. The next Academy Award in knifedom regarding pocket clips goes to the best embedded clip. And first of all, not all knife manufacturers embed their clip. And when they do, here is a knife that doesn't have an embedded clip. It has a surface-mounted clip. They surface-mounted, it's not milled out in the handle, and so they have to use, in this case, 3 different screws to affix the pocket clip. Whenever you embed the clip, you mill out an area and you put it in that milled area, and so you only need 1 screw to affix it. So there's a 3-way tie for examples of the best embedded clip, and the first one is the Browse blade. As you can tell, it only needs 1 screw to affix it because it has a milled out area, and they put the tail end of the clip in there so that it doesn't have any rotational movement. Also, for left-handed carries, they have a filler tab, and that's why it wins it. It both has an embedded tip plus a filler tab. And the other tie for this is the Hinder XM18. This is the 3-inch version. As you can tell, the clip is embedded, and then whenever you want a right-handed tip-up carry, it has a filler tab for that. Not all the knife manufacturers put that much love into their knife to put a filler tab. For example, the Maxpedition has an embedded clip. This is a loop-over clip. However, for the tip-up carry, they did not put a filler tab in for the space where you put the clip for the tip-up carry. So kudos to the Browse Bionic and the Hinder XM18. Another embedded clip that I really like is the Spyderco clip. It's much different because it only has 2 little lines, but still it can be affixed with just 1 screw, and it doesn't have any rotational movement. As you can tell on the left-hand side, it has these grooves too. It doesn't even really need a filler tab because the lines are so small and minimalist, it doesn't interfere with the aesthetic of the knife. So a 3-way tie for the best embedded clip. Congratulations to the Hinder XM18, Browse Bionic 2, and the Spyderco Dragonfly. Next Academy Award for knifedom goes to the knife company with the best ramp to the clip. And what I mean by ramp is this area of entry for your pence and the distance between the knife scale and the tip of the clip that allows your pence pocket to enter the knife. And this is the wire clip of Spyderco, the example that I brought out before on the Kiwi, the Native, the Dragonfly. This is the Positron, but it's the same idea. It has a wonderful ramp and plenty of room to get your pant pocket in there. I wanted to give an example of a knife manufacturer that didn't do as good of a job. The A.G. Russell Lightning Bug is really problematic getting your pants into. As you can tell, there's maybe 1, maybe 2 millimeters, and I can't even get my finger, I have to get my thumbnail in there to get under it. Certainly you can't get your pants under it, but this is an adequate clip. And this is a more than adequate clip. So congratulations to Spider Close Wire Clip. It's one of the best clips in the industry for the best ramp on a clip. The Academy Award of Knifedom as it relates to pocket clip is the 3D milled clip, which is thin enough to function like a spring clip. And again, there's a tie here between the Gavco Baby Spinner and the Custom Knife Factory Piece Duke. These are 3D milled clips, as you can tell, but they bring them to such a taper that they come out just as easily as a spring clip. This is the Gavco Baby Spinner, and this is the Custom Knife Factory's Piece Dukes. Nice 3D milled clips, but they really make them thin so that they function like spring clips. It's a wonderful design. When you have a 3D milled clips, and 3D milled clips have their advantage because they look much more professional, you really need to get them thin so that they have a spring function. I'm going to give you an example of something that wasn't done as well. Medford Knives Micro Petroleum is a very chunky, heavy knife, and the spring clip also, they didn't get it very thin, and I cannot even lift it off, and certainly it's difficult getting into your pants, maybe if you loosen the retention screw there, but really it's so thick it doesn't have any spring to it. It doesn't lift off at all the knife surface. So congratulations for producing a 3D mill clip that is both beautiful and thin enough to function like a spring clip to the Custom Knife Factory Piece Dukes and the Gavco Baby Spinner. The next Academy Award of Knifedom as it relates to clips is the Milling Above and Beyond the Call of Duty. It's a wonderful attention to detail, but this is a beautiful clip on the Millet Max Evolution. But the thing I wanted to point out to you is if you look at the underside, they milled little retention ridges on the underside of the clip so that you get better traction. Not only did they sculpt it, it's a 3D sculpted clip, it's got a great ramp, and it's thin enough to have enough spring to it, but they milled the underside of the clip, so that's really milling above and beyond the call to duty, and it shows that Millet Knives puts a lot of love into their creations. So the Academy Award for milling above and beyond the call of duty goes to Millet Knives' Max Evolution. The next category for Academy Awards for the clips on knife goes to the Todd Begg style clip, and this needs to be a category for itself because I so like the Todd Begg style. And this is the Olamic Wayfarer 24/7, and actually I talked to the people at Olamic saying, did you guys ask Todd Beggs and license his clip style? And he said no, they actually called Todd, and he said, well, I can't license it because I really didn't invent it, I just used it on a lot of my lives, but the clip is very unique and beautiful, and it has 3 components. First of all, it has these pillars at the base that affix the clip. The clip runs perpendicular to the body of the knife, and then at the end of the clip, the retention point is a ball, so it has a very small retention point. It's a very good spring to the clip also. This is obviously drilled so that it has that aesthetic on the acid rain for the face. It has the holes on the back also. So the award for the best Todd Begg style clip goes to the Olamic Wayfarer 24/7 Acid Rain. The Academy Award of Knifedom goes for the pocket clip that rides on the frame, not the lock bar. And I'm going to be giving this award to the Chris Reeves Nkosi because it was one of the first knives that started this trend. As you can tell, the Nkosi clip is put at a diagonal so that the friction point is on the frame, not the lock bar. The problem is that if it's where your hand naturally rests whenever you need to deploy the knife, and so if you're pressing on it and it's on the lock bar, it's harder to get the blade out because you're pressing the lock bar against the knife and creating undue friction. And that's the problem that they had that they tried to correct with the Sabenza. As you can tell, the Sabenza was created so that the clip goes on the lock bar, so when you open it there's a theoretic disadvantage that you're pressing the lock bar into it and not making the opening as smooth. So there are many knives that do this. I'm just arbitrarily picking out the Chris Reeve and Cosi because I want to be talking about some positive characteristics of pocket clips, and this is one of them. The pocket clip friction point needs to be resting on the frame, not on the lock bar. So congratulations to the Chris Reeve and Cosi. Next Academy Award goes to the pocket clip that best displays its maker mark, and we have a tie here. The first one in the tie is the Gavco Micro Mako, and as you can tell, Gavco's maker mark is cut into the pocket clip. Here is a baby spinner. It has Gavco's maker mark on it too, but I think that Gavco did it better with the Micro Mako because it's actually cut through. It's really pretty. And then the other tie is the Hoback MK Ultra. I think Hoback has one of the prettiest maker's mark, the Hoback hatchet, and it's proudly displayed on his pocket clip. Just a beautiful maker's mark on his pocket clip. I think it's much better, and it allows the blade to keep sterile without any markings on it, like the Hoback's blade has no markings on it. He saved his markings for something subtle on the pocket clip, so it doesn't look like the side of a NASCAR stock car. So the award for the best display of a maker's mark on the pocket clip goes to Gavco and Hoback. Next Academy Award goes for the best pocket clip for left-handers, and we have 3 runners-up and then the 2 finalists that tied for first. So there are 3 knives that made provision for left-handers, and that's the Browse Blades Bionic. As you can tell, this is a right-handed, but it also has a filler tab for the left-handed carry, and the Benchmade Emissary. As you can tell, there are holes here so that left-handers can move their clip over, and the same with the Valet. On the left side there are holes so that left-handers can place their pocket clip. But the award goes for the tie for the Spyderco Delica and the Spyderco Native 5. On these, you have the pocket clips, right? And on the left side, there's holes drilled for both tip-up or tip-down carry. And so you can't get any better than that for left-handers. You can have a left-handed either tip-up or tip-down preference. The Native 5 and the Delica really went over for that 10% of our population that are left-handed. Well, that's going to wrap up the video for our best pocket clips on EDC knives. I hope you've enjoyed it. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.